Yo! Yes, everybody, we are back with some more One Piece! Which that feels really weird to say. We are back with some more One Piece. I have to get used to that moving forward. Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, when we last left off of my One Piece journey, I made it through the first 100 chapters, and so for the next big arc of One Piece, I was tasked with handling Alabasta. I just got a notification that someone subscribed. Oh my god, it scared me. Now again, as y'all know, I had been slandering One Piece for years at this current point, and because I lost a bet relating to Jujutsu Kaisen, I tasked myself with starting the first 100 chapters of One Piece. I actually really ended up enjoying it, and I actually really ended up enjoying this arc even more. Again, to much of my surprise. I've pretty much gotten past the point of having my own reservations regarding the One Piece series and its length and everything like that. Some people have explained to me that it's a product of its time, but there's a lot of good stuff throughout this entire manga, so let's dive on into it. But before we get too deep, make sure you leave a like and subscribe so I can keep watching more One Piece. Well, not watching, reading. I'm reading One Piece. I don't have time to watch One Piece. What the fuck do you talk about? Like over 1,000 episodes? Nah. 333.3333 hours. Yeah, no, I'm not. No, absolutely not. Listen, for those of y'all that actually watched One Piece instead of read it, I'm praying for y'all, man. Listen, could be me. Like same niggas with Naruto, man. That just sounds awful. All right, let's get into it. So the first starting point of Alabasta is actually Reverse Mountain with Laboon the whale, and I was actually really touched by Laboon's story. It's weird because as goofy as this story is and as crazy and zany as the art style gets, this story handles some sadder, deeper topics very well, very masterfully actually. I did not think I would end up being emotional over some whale because the whale felt abandoned by its friends and wants to get over onto the other side, even though this is, over 50 years ago. These people are long dead by now. Whenever it comes to animals, I tend to just get really sensitive myself. When it comes to people, I'm a bit more hesitant to get emotional, but animals, I'm an animal lover. I love it. But honestly, not too much to say about Reverse Mountain. It was a nice little, heartwarming story as we go further into Alabasta. Next up is Whiskey Peak. And I honestly think that Whiskey Peak by itself is okay. It's not my personal favorite. Now, I'll tell you, my goat Zoro knocking 100 niggas out of Baroque Works in one night, solo dolo by himself. Woo! Yeah, man. What is it? It's like the members of Baroque Works were like discussing their plan, how to like get the straw hats while they're sleeping, and my goat was just up there, just like looking at him. What do the kids call it? Aura farming? He was aura farming? Yeah, that done got your boy a little activated. I ain't gonna hold you. But here we get introduced to the actual members of Baroque Works, especially Mr. Five, as well as Miss Wednesday, who we now know to be Vivi. Also, Karoo was introduced in here. I love Karoo, man. He's so cute. I love the noises he makes in the anime as well, especially later on into the actual War of Alabasta. Karoo's the fucking GOAT, man. That dude got guts. Braver than Usopp, I'll tell you that. As far as Luffy and Zoro's small little fight that they had, I thought that was fairly entertaining, and it did speak to how strong they've both gotten, as to how like Mr. Five and Miss Valentine attempted to attack them and it just like shrugged it off to go back to their fight. I thought that was pretty cool. So like I said beforehand, we get introduced to Vivi as well as Egrom, and Egrom's quote-unquote death, this was weird to me because I legit thought that Egrom would die here, but it actually ended up being not true. I'm hoping that death is more of a consequence within One Piece. Obviously, there's that one character that I talked about last time who died, but I do hope that the story does have more deaths not relating just to side characters. I do hope that there's a sense of consequence and weight to what happens in the story. I'm not saying any character needs to be brutally massacred or anything like that, but if we're gonna go down some darker paths and handle some darker stuff, I would like some heavier consequences. But again, I'm a novice, so don't come at me. I'm new to the series. I'm new, bro. I'm new. So then we get to Little Garden, and I really like Little Garden, actually, and I didn't think I would. I love the story of the two giants. I mean, they were fighting so long, they didn't even know what they were fighting anymore, but they were the best of friends. I mean, they weren't really hurting each other either. Like, they were trying to, but, they were just more so sparring. I will tell you, I do think that the fight with Mr. Mr. 3 and the whole candle thing, I do think that that went on a little longer than it needed to. Especially when you have Usopp running around trying to chase Karoo, and it ends up getting just a little too goofy for me personally. I haven't talked much about the individual Straw Hats themselves up until this point, but when we get to the actual land of Alabasta, I will be sure to go into each of them in depth. More specifically, I'm going to talk about Chopper and his story next. But overall, I think Little Garden was pretty good. I didn't hate it. Again, Luffy was knocked out for a little bit, then had to wait to get back into the fight. I'm kind of noticing a pattern here. I understand it's a product of its time, but I would rather we just not have us consistently wait for Luffy to come and do something. Especially by the end of Alabasta, all of the Straw Hats are capable on their own, especially as a team. So when we start having this Goku syndrome, it just makes it a bit frustrating as a viewing experience. Mr. 3, he's fine. I think that he's an okay villain. He doesn't move me as much as my undisputed GOAT. We'll talk about it in just a second here. I can't wait to get to the heart of Alabasta, man. Ooh, I can't wait to get to Guiezao, y'all. Hold on, stay with me. So here we arrive to Drum Island, and I will tell you that while I did think that the previous 2 arcs were okay and I did like them, I wasn't really enjoying them as much as I enjoyed Arlong Park, for example. And this is where the gas really got going for this arc for me, man. This arc, I rock with this arc heavy, man. I do. I do. When it comes to the character of Chopper, right? He's this, cute little reindeer. And he's half man, half reindeer. He can transform with the devil fruit that he ate. The story of him and the doctor, this quack doctor that no one ever took seriously, right? He's giving people frog eyes and like livers of various animals that like did nothing, but he still had a heart of gold. He still wanted to help people. He was shit at his job. But in this land of doctors, he truly cared for people. And I could definitely tell this arc was going to touch me when this doctor first runs into Chopper. You see the Chopper is injured as Chopper tried to previously go and make some new friends because the reindeer didn't want to be his friends, and so tried to go meet people, and he ended up getting shot at, getting hurt, and the doctor ends up setting all of his things on the ground, and unfortunately a gun is in there. He's not pointing it at Chopper, but it causes him to freak out. Chopper runs off, and the doctor strips naked, and he tells Chopper, "Wait, I would never hurt you." That's when I knew this arc was going to move me. That got me. It did. And we come to see how their relationship blossomed like a father and a son. And we come to find out that the doctor is actually deathly sick. And one day he actually kicks Chopper out, tells him to go away, to never come back. And Dr. Hitoluk, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name, he tells Kuraha that he could not stand to see Chopper's little heart break if he were to see him die. But still, little old Chopper overhears a conversation. So he goes and he gets beaten. He's in all these treacherous situations. Does all of this stuff to go find a magic mushroom to cure the doctor. That one panel of Chopper just standing there and he just says mushroom. It broke my heart, man. That was rough. And the doctor previously had talked about how he has dreams. He wants to make snow that looks like cherry blossoms possible on Drum Island. This symbol on a pirate flag is a person's dream. It means that it is a dream that is unbreakable. So in Chopper's mind, it means something positive. So when he gives the doctor this mushroom and the doctor eats it, we as the audience think, oh, maybe this just means nothing. Maybe this Chopper doesn't know what he's talking about, or maybe he could. Previously, the doctor told Chopper that this flag rejects impossibilities. It's the symbol of faith, and Chopper mistook it for this mushroom. And Chopper says this picture was right next to the mushroom. Oh, dude. Damn, that was rough. And while this is going on, the doctor is actually baited by Wapol, the previous king of the kingdom. He is baited into a trap where apparently there are 20 doctors that are sick. So Kitterlook runs, he sprints as fast as he can to the castle. He arrives there only to obviously run into a trap. And the first thing that he says when he finds out that it is a trap, not that, oh, you got me, you'll pay for this. That's not what he says. The first thing he says is, thank goodness nobody is sick. This is powerful storytelling, man. This is good. All right, this is good. And we actually have the doctor bring his self-sacrifice, and we actually have Kudderlook saying that a man is not dead when his body is hitting the ground. He is dead when his ideals are gone. I like that as well. But throughout this entire thing, man, Chopper is just this kind-hearted little reindeer. He wants to do his best. He wants to help people. Sometimes he puts on a fake tough exterior. Most of the time it's for comedic effect, especially, you know, when he's like trying to hide from somebody, but he hides the wrong way. I think that's a funny character trait that Oda gave to him. But when Chopper meets new people, understandably, he is hesitant. So when he runs into somebody like Luffy, who is unabashedly himself when he tries to make friends with whoever he can, whenever he can, it's a shell shock. And Chopper wants to see the world. He wants to learn all these cool medicine techniques. He wants to become the best doctor in the world because that's what was wished for him. And initially, when Luffy offers it to him, he's like, hey, come join us. Like, we need a doctor. We need somebody with us. Chopper initially is like, no, I can't do it. No, I don't want to. You're a human. I can't do it. And Luffy just says, oh, just shut up and come with us. Like, nah, man, that's such a happy moment for Chopper there, knowing that he has just instantaneously made these friends. I didn't really discuss Wapole just because I don't like Wapole. He's just he just eats shit. He just like a turn into a house, bro. What the fuck? Like what? Like, come on, bro. Like that ain't doing it for me, man. Listen, I take Captain Krieg 3 times over Wapole, man. I'm just saying Wapole sucks. But I tell you what, though, you know who's rock solid, cool dude in my book? My man Dalton. Dalton fire. I love Dalton, right? Facial hair on point, solid dude, loves his country. Yeah, I like Dalton a lot. And we get this crazy cool moment by Luffy where Luffy is fighting Wapole, and Wapole's talking about the flag that was raised in Kirilluk's honor. And Wapole tries to shoot it down, and Luffy, obviously, as a seasoned pirate at this point, he's like, no, a pirate flag is someone's ideals. It is their heart. And so even when Wapole shoots it, Luffy takes the blunt of it, and he holds the flag in his hand. He says, see, it's unbreakable. Ooh! That's some real protagonist activities right there, man. That's what I like to hear. Yo, that was hype. Yo, that was hype reading that, man. And so when we come to the end of the arc, we have Kuroha actually chasing Chopper out of the castle. And initially, like, what is she doing? Like, what's the play here? I also like Kuroha as a character as well. She has this really cool design where she dresses like a really like younger woman. But obviously she's like, what, 120, 118, something like that. But she's rough and tough, very tomboyish. But I like her a lot. She's really cool to me. And she's chasing Chopper out of the castle, saying he won't ever be anything and doing all this. And she's kind of running, what is happening? Well, she wanted to run Chopper out of the castle because she knew that if she didn't, he would find some reason to stay. He would find any reason to stay. And then we come to the end of the arc, and this got me. So we come to the end of the arc, and the Straw Hats are making their escape, and we see Kuroha have men line up cannons and shoot them into the sky, and thinking what's happening. And actually we see that these make the snow around Drum Island pink, which is the very dream that Kirilluk wanted, and that was the last thing that he wished to happen. And Chopper just begins to cry. The music swells in the anime. This dude, I did not think I would ever cry reading some damn One Piece. Wow! I love how Oda framed Chopper and Kirilluk's relationship. I ain't gonna lie. It's that meme of Chopper crying like it was peak. It's peak. It's peak. I was really feeling that, man. I was feeling. Now, but we have this idea that the members of Baroque Works are working for this crazy, scary individual, Mr. Zero. And we already have this predetermined idea of just how strong he is. But we're like, oh, like the presence he has in the story is crazy. Like how scary is this guy? So it's Vivi Ace, Luffy's brother. And Ace is a pretty cool cat. I like Ace. He's definitely the cool older brother, but he's not unintelligent. You would think somebody related to Luffy would be like super dumb or anything like that, but no, like he's goofy, but he definitely he acts like I feel like an older Luffy would act, with like, you know, a brain. But you definitely get the sense that he is a good dude. And so he asks the other Straw Hats, he's like, hey, I know my brother, he's kind of a handful, but do you mind taking care of him for me? But I like it. Now, funny enough, we have a very interesting exchange with Vivi and Luffy. And he talks to Wonky D. Luffy said this? Hold on! Whoa, What Tagwan? Huh? I was disturbed by the depth that Luffy was able to bring to the situation. And I talked about this on a community post because I tend to go through my community posts and post pictures of where I'm at with One Piece. And people were like, yeah, Luffy is actually extremely emotionally intelligent, which I got that vibe already. And they said that especially in an instance like this, you could tell that Garp drilled this into him. Who Garp is, I have absolutely no idea, but he sounds cool, I guess. I don't know if it's like adoptive father or something. I don't know. All I know is that he's had like a meme of a handshake recently, but that's the only thing I know about Garp. But I was stunned at the emotional maturity that Luffy showed there. So Luffy and his crew end up getting to Alabasta eventually, and here we have my man Crocodile. Crocodile. I love Crocodile, man. I do. He got me activated. Folks was telling me, hey, as a Sakuda fan, you gonna love you some Crocodile, and boy, y'all did not lie to me. Oh my god, the aura this man radiate. Buddy. Number one, his character design is sick. I love the scar across his face. I love like the hook. He looks like a James Bond villain. I love the way he dresses. He's very suave. The cigar that he's got. Oh, yes. In juxtaposition, we get in tone going from Wapole, this goofy ass nigga that turned himself into a fucking house with a chimney, to Crocodile. Oh yeah. Especially we have some of these panels where Crocodile's silhouette is very solid, but then the background behind him is like empty or like blacked out with shadows and everything like that. So it makes him look very imposing, especially the way Oda draws his eyes sometimes to look like a crocodile's. I like it. I do. I like Crocodile a lot, man. And it's funny because we get a really cool interaction between Sanji and Crocodile where the Straw Hats, where Zoro, Usopp, Nami, and Luffy are trapped in this cell, and Crocodile actually gets a call on his shell phone, and when he picks it up, it's like, oh, hello, it's the Crab Cafe. It's the same thing that Sanji did all the way back in Little Island. I was actually hyped when I read that. I was like, whoa, Sanji with the plays, making plays, hold on. Like, I knew Sanji was intelligent, but he's very crafty. I like when Sanji shows his intelligence, man. My go Zoro, thinking ain't his strong suit. Fighting, yes, obviously he's a bulldozer, right? But I love the fact that Straw Hats, they themselves can do so many different things. They can handle so many different things. That's why Luffy talks about it with Arlong, and he's like, I don't know how to pilot, I don't know how to cook, I don't know how to do this, how to do that, but I know how to beat you. Like that tight, right? And eventually the Straw Hats end up getting out of this cell, and Luffy squares off with Crocodile, and Luffy actually loses. Now, Luffy has not really lost to an opponent before this. He's taken damage and all this, yeah, sure, but Crocodile gave him a fat fucking L. Like, Arlong Park didn't even do Luffy this bad. Crocodile literally put his hand, and Luffy fortunately ends up making it out of this little predicament. He gets introduced to Nico Robin. I don't know too much about Nico Robin. I know she ends up being a member of the Straw Hats at some point, and I kind of got that vibe, especially when Crocodile betrays her at the end of this arc. But how that happens, I have no idea, and I don't really know that much. I just know she ends up being a part of the Straw Hat crew. But I will tell you that the overall, especially when the actual infighting itself starts and you have Bon Clay impersonating the king and actually kicking off the war itself, I was like, bro, we are in dire straits. We gotta stop this. Crazy. I love the sense of tone. Sometimes in war arcs, it doesn't really feel like it. There are a couple of times in My Hero Academia during the Paranormal Liberation Army arc where I was just like, if it didn't pertain to Midoriya, Bakugo, or Shigaraki directly, I didn't really get the feel it was a war arc itself. I mean, Karoo ended up getting shot, but he showed so much guts for a little goofy bird. I mean, more than Usopp. And it's funny because I dunk on Usopp, and Usopp's definitely not my favorite Straw Hat, and I did not really care for him before this arc. But when Usopp actually is fighting some of these other Baroque members with Chopper, and he actually ends up taking so much damage, he actually gets an X-ray and getting his skull cracked because someone insulted his friend. He actually ends up showing a lot of guts, and I feel like we'll see more of that from Usopp. But I do like how goofy Usopp is. I mean, with that little bat that he had, with that little hammer that he had, was supposed to be like over a ton or like 100 tons or something like that. He was surprised it worked, and it's actually just like a little air balloon like that. Like, that was goofy. I like that. But I didn't think about it. I was like, okay, Usopp, hold on, he got a growing on me. I like Usopp. I do. I don't hate him anymore. I like Usopp. And we have Sanji versus Bon Clay. can someone explain to me why this was so well animated? Again, I know One Piece is kind of, old at this current time. It's over 20 years old. But especially when Sanji and Bon Clay were trading blows and he was like, so shit, bullet! Like, dude, I was like, wow, wait, this is hype, what? Now, one thing I will say is, as well animated as this fight was, the fact that Sanji did get distracted by the fact that Bon could take it, because he said swordsmen don't take scars on their back. They never get stabbed in the back, they take it in the front. And Zoro unlocks Ultra Instinct. He was near death and he gets the sensation of everything around him. It's almost like that one scene from Vagabond where it's like, do you see how infinite you are? He understands everything, the movement of everything. And cool, still liked it. Still a crazy good frame. But I like that from my boy Zoro, man. He's leveling up as a sorcerer. We're seeing all the Straw Hats slowly level up. Obviously, it's a shonen, so we're gonna have power escalation all over the place. But I like how incremental it is. It's not just like, oh, we have 2 fights, boom, Luffy has gear 2 or gear 3 or whatever, right? Obviously, I know those things exist. I don't know where they come into the story, but yeah. And we have so much backstory with the citizens in Alabasta. We have Koza, we have Vivi's father, the king, and you care for all of these people. So you're really emotionally invested in this entire debacle that ends up happening. And we have Luffy actually facing off against Crocodile one more time as he comes to save the day, because we gotta wait on Luffy to come rescue us. It's par for the course. So Luffy comes in and he ends up, figuring out that Crocodile's weakness is water. And that's why Alabasta has never had rain in 3 years, ever since he's been there. And Crocodile actually ends up serving Luffy another hot, steaming L. Bro, I was like, wait, what? Luffy ran to run it back and he lost again? Like, damn. And Luffy should have been dead. But I actually had to ask my editor this. He actually blew a bubble past Crocodile, and so it would land when Crocodile dropped him when he was gone to revive him. That was very intelligent by Luffy. I like the battle IQ. I like it, because initially I thought, I was like, is Luffy favored by the gods or something? Why? This is just very random. But no, he explained to me that actually Luffy did it on purpose, because we don't see speech bubbles from Luffy unless he's in water or something. So very cool. But you definitely get the sense that Crocodile is this overwhelming threat, man. I mean, he's in the desert. It's basically, you're in his domain the entire time you're fighting him. He's so scary. And then we actually end up coming behind that you actually be able to use his own blood to fight Crocodile. That was really cool. And unless I'm mistaken, this is the first time Luffy is drawn with spiky hair in the middle of battle, because usually it's a lot more free flowing, but especially when he has the gum bazooka on Crocodile, his hair is a lot spikier, almost looks like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Obviously I know this isn't the transformation, but it feels like something new that Oda tried out. I really liked it to convey a sense of speed and power. And so Luffy and Crocodile are scrapping, they're going yell loud and try to get people to stop. Wish he had something else to do, but I didn't hate it. I was just kind of damn, that's your plan, is to yell and ask people to stop fighting politely, come on. But actually it ends up working due to a child that actually saw Bon Clay transform, and actually Igram's alive, which, I mean, yay, I guess. I don't know. But we actually have the Navy end up helping the Straw Hats throughout this entire thing as well, and Captain Smoker, my guy, he cool, he chill, and he actually ends up aiding the Straw Hats throughout this entire thing, because obviously there's a larger enemy that they all can be fighting against at this point, especially his lieutenant, who actually points Luffy towards the direction of Crocodile. She actually wants to get stronger herself, so she's definitely going to be important later on in the story, especially to Zoro, because I guess she reminds him of his friend that passed away. Speaking of Zoro, actually we get to see his old sword master, who he had that mantra that he says, where a swordsman that can cut anything can cut nothing. I'm curious to see what his backstory is, especially in relation to Zoro. I'm curious to see Luffy's backstory as well. I know we got a little bit with him and Shanks, but as far as how he grew up, how him and Ace are, blood brothers and everything like that, I want to see some more of that. We also have this Will of D that was mentioned by Kudaha as well, so I have no idea what that is. I hope it's not some genetic power up that they get or something. That'd be kind of fucking stupid, but whatever. It is shonen after all. But overall, man, I loved this arc. I loved the latter half. The first half of it, the first 2, it's cool. It's cool. Didn't dislike it. It's cool. But the latter half, Drum Island onward, fire. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Alabasta. I like this arc. Some really cool moments. Luffy definitely grew on me more and more and more. He's definitely probably one of my favorite protagonists at this point. He's not intelligent, but he's got this big heart and he knows what works for him. And he does what he wants regardless of what other people think. So yeah, it's me, boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys for joining me on this video. I'm looking forward to more One Piece. So as far as the next arc in One Piece, I have no idea what's next. I think it was Skypiea, Water 7. I don't know. Should I review the One Piece movies? Maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Should I do the One Piece movies as well? I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, guys, me, boy Daffy. Thank you guys for joining me in this video. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And I've been recording for almost an hour. Oh, pray for my editors, y'all. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Peace.